Hello Guitar 3, let's talk through Mango Walk. So first thing first, we have our key signature of D major, 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp, and that's going to be true for the whole piece. There's no other accidentals. We're in 4/4 for our time signature, and let's take a moment to talk about the form of the piece. So of course we start at measure 1, and we play all the way through to measure 10, and now we get to our first repeated section, right? So at measure 10, we go back to 3, and once we do the repeat, we go back to 3, we play all the way to 9, and instead of going to 10, on the second time that we repeat, we go through to measure 11. From here, we start our next section, which goes from 12 to 19. So I play through 12 to 19, go back to 12. Now I'm going to go to measure 18 and take a jump over to measure 20. And here I have dies al fine. So this stands for del signa al fine, the sign to the end, right? So the sign is this symbol right here. And when we do a dies al fine or a DC al fine, we don't do the repeats. So when we get to measure 3, we'll play all the way through 9 and then hop over to 11 to play the piece, or to complete the piece. So all this is written for you here, but I wanted to talk through it once. Okay, so in one sense, your part is really straightforward because the rhythm is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's just the accents and the groupings are a little bit different. So we need to talk through that for a moment. So when you look at your part, well, let's play it first. So we're going to put our second finger on A, and then we just have open notes beside that. What's really important is that you honor the right hand fingering, going P, M, I, P, M, I, P, I. So P, M, I, P, M, I, P, I, P, M, I, P, M, I, P, I. That's not going to be a problem for you. The thing that I want to challenge you with now is it's very tempting to feel this in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. But the danger of that is you will be likely to rush ahead or speed up because the rest of your ensemble is thinking in 4/4, right? So be careful with that. You have a lot of responsibility to being the glue that keeps this piece together. So what I would encourage you to do is still tap your foot in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but with your voice, put an accent on 1, the and of 2, and 4. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And I would encourage you to be able to say it and play it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? I think it'll do you well to do that. So really try for that. Okay, so that pattern repeats quite a bit. In measure 5 and measure 9 are the kind of sparse moments when you change things up. And we go to keeping A down, we'll play E on the 4th string. And then measure 9 is similar, but we have this little pickup. So we have, on beat 4 of measure 9, we're going to play B, hammer onto C sharp, and then we're back in it. So let's take a moment to play 8, 9, and 10. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? And in the interest of keeping this video as brief as I can make it, I'm going to go from 8, 9 to measure 11 now. So just notice that the pattern's a little bit different. We have a bass note on the and of 2 and landing back on open D in beat 3. So let's go from measure 8, 9 to 11. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, practice that for a little bit. Playing 8, 9, and 10, and 8, 9, and 11 will really set you up for success. Okay, so now I guess we can call this the more challenging part here. What's kind of funky about this is it just looks like it should be all open notes, but it's not, right? So notice here we're going to play this D with the 5th string with our 4th finger on the 5th fret, and then we have open Ds above it. So we have that ability to ring. We're able to keep that. We're able to keep that groove and that sustaining bass note in the same way. So kind of a cool effect. Now, for measures 12 through 17 here, you can pretty much keep your pinky down. Make sure you have enough curvature so you can hear the open D above it. And then when the time comes in measure 13, place your 2nd finger on D, 3rd fret, 2nd string. I'm sorry. And then at measure 13 on, I'll start from 13 one more time. So I play 5th string, 4th, 4th, and then 5th string, 2nd, 4th, right? So it's only on 1 and the and of 2 and on beat 4 do we play that fretted note. I hope that makes sense, okay? And you can leave it down that whole time, right? So I wouldn't pick it up because you'd be more likely to get pull-offs and other kind of unwanted sounds from it. So going from 12, right? So you notice I just kept those steady the whole time. Now at measure 18, I have G. And then you can play A, open, and then I would fret D again just so I could not have those notes ringing over each other. Okay, so we'll go back in a second, but let's take a moment to unpack measure 19. So we'll play D, and then we'll fret B, A, I'm going to fret G, and then we go back to measure 12. Etc., etc. And now let's take, so much in the same way that we practice measure 8, 9, and 10, and 8, 9, and 11, you do really well to practice 18, 19 to 12, and then 18 jumping over to 20. So let's go from 18 to 20. So we have G, G, A, and then we end with, you'll notice there's 2 D's stacked on top of each other. So we're going to play D, the 5th fret, 5th string, and then D open, if possible. If you can get them both, it sounds kind of cool. Okay, from there we have the dies al fine. So like I said, you'll go back to measure 3, you'll play along, and you'll jump over to measure 11. I'm going to leave it there for right now. I hope you're able to kind of study the piece enough and then use the reference recording on Google Classroom to practice along with. Okay, good luck.